Hey guys, it's Mike coming back with another video. This one is going to be a little different. This one's going to focus just on Hank, and it's going to be an SGC reveal. I just got back. They did goof up the order some, so I'm working on that, but I did get 5 pieces that I sent in back today, and they're very nice. As you all probably noticed in the YouTubers Hall of Gamers Facebook page, that everybody's starting to get on a autographed Hall of Famers cards right now, TTMs and such, and that's fantastic. I think that's been great stuff. I've really enjoyed seeing what people are putting together and what everybody's got to. They're starting to really come in from all kinds of people now, and it's really fun to watch those videos. And I think Henry wants to make a guest appearance here. Come on. All right. Y'all haven't met Henry. This is our cat Henry, my little buddy here. But anyway, I have been trying to find some period signature pieces for Hank Greenberg, and they're very tough to find as far as anything dated from the 30s. But back then, teams issued postcards of the players, and they would sign them and send them out to fans as kind of well, you'd send in a card today for their TTM, and that's how they sent out autographs to their fans. Needless to say, since he played in the 30s and 40s, they're much harder to find. And the pictures that they use are probably from some of the big photographers of the time also. And we gotta get down. Hold on. Get down. So anyway, I've got 5 pieces here I want to show you. I'll start off with the newest. I bought this real cheap off one of the, I think, Net 54 forums. It's a picture of Hank. 99% sure it's from 1983. They retired his and Charlie Gehringer's number in Detroit at the game on June 12th, 1983. So this is like 35 years ago. And this is a picture someone took of Hank signing a baseball. And I got the picture real cheap, and got it slabbed by SGC. I know you all use PSA, which is great. I love SGC, even though they've ticked me off a little bit here lately. But nice, the black holder with the nice red bordered labels looks really good. And there's some lucky guy getting Hank to sign a baseball. Probably sitting in the Tigers dugout, as you can see some information at the top that tells you it's their dugout. It says no one allowed in dugout 30 minutes prior to game except team personnel. So anyway, one of his last autographs, he died in 86. This is probably from 1983 here, but nice picture. Now all the rest of them are going to be back from period time back in the 30s. This one here is a Detroit Tigers team issued photo, and SGC puts the autographs on the front, so this is actually on the back. It is really, before I sent it in, it's really almost in mint condition, which is unheard of for a postcard from literally almost 80 years ago. Beautiful picture of Hank, probably mid to late 30s. Says best wishes, Hank Greenberg, on his shoulder. And when you turn it around, we get best wishes, Hank Greenberg, signed in fountain pen from the 30s. So that's very cool. Very hard to find. The dealer I got it from was from Detroit. He was retired since the 70s, and he went down to Florida where he still sells a few things. But he said his 40, 50 years of doing Detroit memorabilia, this is only probably a handful of these postcards as he's seen. And he said this is by far the one in the best condition. But beautiful, beautiful period autograph. You can always tell Hanks by the way the G on it, Greenberg, the way he flips the line that way backwards, or if he curls it up would be later ones. Just many, many different ways he used to sign as time went on. So, love that one. It's got a great picture on the front. So, it's an awesome piece. The third one popped up on eBay. It was in a PSA DNA holder, and they wanted $150 for it. Buy it now or best offer. And I wasn't going to take any chances because you just don't see these types. This is another autograph, probably mid to late 30s, definitely before the World War II, because he changed it after World War II. But it says best wishes to Sam. It's an original photo postcard, 1930s real photo postcard of Hank. And of course my camera's not going to do it justice, but this thing is just, the image is just beautiful. His pictures back then were just, with all the technology changes, you would think today's would just be unbelievably better, but these pictures from those days are just amazing. And you can see on the back, it says postcard. It's a place for the stamp. Teams did this type of stuff. It's unusual to see it as a real picture postcard, though. But to see one signed in the 30s on the front like that, I couldn't have hit that button any faster, I tell you. Just a beautiful piece. And this one is like a 5x7. This is a much bigger one. They put in a bigger holder. And this one is inscribed to a friend of his. I can't really make out the name. William Torteman. To my friend William Torteman with best wishes, Hank Greenberg. The neat thing about this is it is actually dated September 17th, 1938. Yeah. Now this is, again, the glare and all that stuff. You're not going to get the full extent of how beautiful and crystal clear this picture is. But this is a 1938 signature. The card is probably, these pictures probably made right at the same time, of course, or just a tad earlier. But it is just amazing how beautiful this picture is. And on the back, this is an American League Service Bureau out of Chicago, Apex Photograph Company. And if you look those up, they were all done in the 30s. So it's got all the signs you want for this. It's even got typed Hank Greenberg infielder Detroit, which could be a Burke or Brace or something type photo right here. It wasn't marked, but who knows? Just the way it's marked at the top there. But this is cool. And what's really cool about it is in 1938, if y'all don't know, after Babe Ruth had hit 60 home runs a few years earlier, Hank was on a run that year. And he ended up trying to pass Ruth for the record that year, and he ended up hitting 58 home runs. Now, if you look up September 17th, 1938, which, let's go over here to Baseball Reference. On that day he signed the photo. They were playing the New York Yankees. Joe DiMaggio had a home run, and Hank had 2 home runs. He had number 52 and number 53. And at some point of that day, before or after the game, he signed this photo. And I was just, in case you wonder what I was looking at, I was reading that off the page. But that was the day he hit the 52nd and 53rd home runs out of 58 that he would hit in 1938. As the Tigers beat the Yankees on September 17th. And stuff like that, I just love when you can date something and tell where it's from. I think that is so damn cool. Just love it. Wow. And then the last piece I got, now I may have showed some of this stuff before, I don't know. This one was too big to put in a slab. But Hank was a rookie in 1933, even though he appeared in one game in 1930. And I'm sorry, in 1930 he appeared in one game. He was like 19 years old. They sent him back to the minors. He came back in 1933. In 1932, he was in the Texas League playing for the Beaumont Exporters. And they won the title that year in the Texas League. And that evening, they went out, they had an appreciation dinner for the Exporters. And this would have been probably September of 1930, whatever it is actually. Monday evening, September 12th, 1932, at the Edson Hotel. And it's a program, and right there, you can see a super early autograph of Hank. A little different than what he was even signing in the early 30s. And it's also got a bunch of other future Detroit players that played with him, including Schoolboy Rowe and Flea Clifton and guys like that. But that is just such a cool piece. And just like the other companies do, they sent me this. They said, since we can't slab it, we'll send you this letter of authenticity. Got the picture of it. SGC. They put the sticker on the letter just because they said they wouldn't put that on the program. They thought that the value of the program would be better with this on here. Which it really doesn't matter to me because it's not really going anywhere. But it's really neat. Inside it talks about their season. Even on the first page here, and I gotta be careful because this thing is super fragile. It talks about Greenberg says, it talks about how he got a whopping $100 for being the MVP of the Texas League in 1932. And it's actually an ad for an insurance company, and he invested the money into I don't know if it's life insurance or something like that. So it's very cool stuff, and love the very vintage stuff like that. So the earlier the better. So I know everybody's on here doing the collecting the Hall of Famer autographs and everything, but I really like these old postcards and pictures signed. I think those are just very cool things. Well, that's it. Those are the 5 pieces I got in from SGC. I'm going to have to work on and get the other 3 done. But couldn't be happier with how these turned out. Let me know what you all think of vintage postcards and period autos. I don't know if anybody else in here collects vintage like that. Obviously, I've got some cards with him from that time that are signed, period, like the 39 play ball. But they're super hard to find. You just don't see that kind of stuff. Most people have postcards, or postcards, not like these, but just like more generic. Or they have, back then, people really did albums. Like I got this one. And if I can find it, I'll show this to you. Yeah, it's right here. I got this in too. I gotta get this put away. But back in the day, most of you won't remember this, but people used to have these little autograph books. And anytime you go anywhere, you would take these with you. And if you knew somebody's going to be there. This one is from opening day 1937. Here before that one picture. That's JoJo White, who was a teammate of Hank's. And on the next page is a beautiful pencil autograph of Hank from 1937. And these were very common as far as how people collected autographs back in those days. So just wanted to share that with you too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of these vintage autographs. I know there's not a lot of guys that do it. I always think of Joey Brings It. And his passion for vintage. And then we got the group that does all the way back to the T206 and all that kind of stuff, which is just unbelievable to me with all those cards to collect. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Hope everybody's doing great. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.